Every sunrise is a test. Long before your feet touch the floor, the mind whispers, "Stay down, stay weary, stay safe." And without realizing it, most of us obey. We stumble into the day distracted, frustrated, waiting for energy or joy to arrive from somewhere outside of us. But the Stoics remind us, happiness is not a visitor that knocks at your door. It is a practice. Motivation is not a gift from fate. It is a discipline of the mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal at dawn, urging himself to rise, not for sleep, but for duty, not for complaint, but for strength. Imagine if you could do the same. Imagine waking with clarity instead of fog, with calm steadiness instead of dread. In this reflection, we'll explore the practices that transform mornings into foundations of strength, principles that train the mind, the body, and the spirit to begin each day not in defeat, but in quiet victory. 1. Belief shapes reality. Years ago, I often woke already defeated. The alarm would sound, and my first thought was, "This will be another heavy day." My body instantly mirrored that thought. Shoulders tense, breath shallow, energy drained. Looking back, I see how belief dictated my posture before the sun had even risen. A close friend once told me of her father, who battled illness for months. Each morning he sighed, "I'm getting weaker," and his body seemed to obey. But everything changed the day his doctor said firmly, "You are stronger than you think, and you are recovering." His condition hadn't magically reversed, yet from that morning forward, his spirit lifted, and with it, his health improved. The Stoics would nod knowingly. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that life's quality rests not in fortune, but in thought. Epictetus said we suffer not from events, but from the opinions we form about them. And science today confirms it. Expectation can alter pain. Belief can shift biology itself. When I whisper, "I'm exhausted," the hours unfold accordingly. But when I tell myself, "This is training for my soul," fatigue becomes fuel. Belief is not fantasy. It is an instruction manual the body follows, which is why each morning, the story you choose becomes the world you live. 2. Happiness exists now. Morning light does not only enter the room, it enters the mind. If you rise convinced that joy is postponed until life improves, you've surrendered the day before breakfast. But if you rise with the simple conviction that happiness is possible in this breath, energy follows. Modern research proves this. A study once told hotel maids that their cleaning counted as exercise. Nothing about their tasks changed, yet, after weeks, their health improved. Lower blood pressure, better weight, stronger hearts. Why? Because their story changed. They began to see themselves as active, not burdened. The Stoics saw this long ago. Happiness is not endless pleasure, but sufficiency, meeting the present without demanding that it be different. Aurelius reminded himself each morning that simply waking was a gift. Seneca taught that joy is not denied by hardship, but discovered in spite of it. When I tell myself I am already behind, exhaustion settles in. When I tell myself this moment is enough, the same tasks become lighter. Happiness is not an effect. It is a cause, a decision we make with the first breath of dawn. 3. Strength through discipline of the body. Joy is contagious. It spreads to the body. On restless mornings, I used to crave food that dulled me, or hours of stillness that made me heavier. But when I woke with gratitude, I naturally reached for movement, for water, for nourishment. The body follows the spirit. Seneca advised, "Treat the body rigorously so that it may not disobey the mind." He did not mean punishment, but discipline, small daily acts that keep the body an ally instead of a saboteur. My father modeled this. Even with aching joints, he rose before dawn to stretch and walk in silence. As a child, I thought it was needless ritual. Now I see, it was training clarity through discipline. Modern knowledge echoes this. Food is not just fuel, it is information for the mind. Movement sharpens thought as much as muscle. Rest repairs the system that carries the soul. Neglect them, and philosophy crumbles on unsteady ground. Honor them, and energy becomes natural, not forced. Discipline is not grand sacrifice. It is quiet repetition, choosing rest over distraction, water over fog, walks over idleness. These choices seem trivial, but over time they make the mornings lighter, the spirit steadier. And when mornings are light, motivation rises without being chased. 4. Work with purpose. Strength within the body and mind seeks expression in action. Work is not separate from life, but one of its purest expressions. When the spirit is calm, even hard tasks lose their sting. When the spirit is agitated, even small tasks become unbearable. Research shows that happiness makes workers more accurate, more creative, more resilient. A story illustrates this. Doctors who received a lollipop after a shift performed better with patients. Nothing in their skill changed. Their mindset did. The Stoics anticipated this. Aurelius warned that agitation clouds judgment, while tranquility sharpens it. A leader I know once told me his best decisions came not in panic, but after silence at dawn. His calmness spread to his team like steady fire. I've seen it in athletes too. Those who carry themselves with poise outperform those consumed by nerves. Effectiveness is not brute force. It is focused energy without waste. Work with calmness, and labor becomes meaningful. 5. Rest as renewal, not escape. But effort must be paired with renewal. Too often, what we call rest is merely collapse. The body slumped in a chair, the hand scrolling a screen, the soul untouched. True rest is rarer. It is silence, stillness, breath. Not retreat, but readiness. Seneca wrote of wandering walks to refresh the mind. I've felt the truth of this. Nights spent in noise left me dull by morning. But a few minutes of quiet writing, or a walk under the stars, restored me deeply. The length of rest matters less than its quality. Rest is not indulgence, but discipline. To resist distraction and choose stillness is as demanding as any workout. Yet without it, effort unravels. And rest is not selfish. It flows outward. When I neglect it, impatience infects my relationships. When I honor it, I return kinder, calmer, more alive. Rest is the rhythm of strength, as silence is the rhythm of music. 6. Connection shapes the morning. How you rise in relation to others shapes how you rise in yourself. I have woken heavy with resentment from arguments the night before, and carried that bitterness into every task. And I have woken lighter when I chose forgiveness, even unspoken. Marcus Aurelius wrote that each day he would meet people who were arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and yet they were human, sharing the same nature as himself. To expect perfection is to guarantee disappointment. To accept humanity is to preserve calm. When I wake demanding others act as I wish, the day poisons itself. When I wake remembering that others are fragile like me, patience flows more easily. Forgiveness frees energy that resentment drains. A new day cannot be lived well if we insist on dragging the weight of yesterday. 7. Peace in playing your role. Life is theater. Each morning the curtain rises whether we are ready or not. We rarely choose the role, but we always choose how to perform it. Epictetus reminded his students, "If you are cast as a beggar, play it well. If a king, play it well." I recall mornings when I resisted my role, a duty at work I thought beneath me, a family task I wished belonged to another. Those mornings were heavy because resistance itself is exhaustion. Later, I tried a different thought. This is my role today. I may not like it, but I can play it with dignity. The weight lifted. The work had not changed, but my spirit had. Acceptance is not surrender. It is power. To resist the role wastes strength. To embrace it channels strength into action. The hard roles, unseen, thankless, demanding, are not misfortune, but training. They cultivate humility, patience, courage. Life does not pause until we are ready. It begins each morning, curtain rising. The question is not whether the play will go on. It always will. The question is whether we will perform with resentment or with steadiness. Conclusion. So here we arrive, yet really only at the beginning. Each morning is another chance to practice. Happiness is not luck. Motivation is not charity. They are disciplines, small choices, repeated. To rise with steadiness is to remember. The mind leads, the body follows, and the spirit finds freedom not in ruling the world, but in ruling itself. Dawn is more than the sun climbing the sky. It is the self rising again. Train your mornings. Guard your health, your rest, your work, your connections, and your role, and you will rise not in dread, but in quiet strength. A strength that carries calmness, and calmness, the deepest form of joy. If these reflections resonate, let them not stay here. Share them with someone who may need them. And if you wish to continue this journey, subscribe, not as formality, but as a reminder that each day can begin with clarity, courage, and joy. So when tomorrow comes, don't wait for happiness to appear. Create it. And let every morning become not a burden, but an invitation to live well.